Welcome to Pine Needles Quilt and Sew in Rochester, Minnesota. Thank you for joining me this morning. Today is the kickoff day for the Minnesota Quilt Show, and it is a virtual event. There are wonderful things happening on the virtual event site of the Minnesota Quilt Show. If you have not purchased a ticket, go ahead and do so. You still have time to attend. There's wonderful educators, there's vendor booths over there. Thank you, Bernina of America, for sponsoring our booth this year at the Minnesota Quilt Show. We really appreciate it. During the next 4 days here on Pine Needles Facebook page, I will be introducing you to many different machines in the Bernina domestic lineup. Of course, today's feature at 10 o'clock is the 790 Plus Special Edition machine, and we'll talk about that briefly. But again, thank you for joining me. I'm Joy, and I'll be your host today. So in front of me, before Christmas, Bernina had this wonderful ability to purchase an Lauer limited edition 790 Plus embroidery machine. They sold out well before Christmas, but because we are hosting the domestic booth for the Minnesota Quilt Show, Bernina sent us a few more machines. There's just a couple left in our collection, so if you missed out before Christmas, now's the time to reserve and treat yourself to this gorgeous machine. Now, even if you were to purchase the one that has the black front, it is an amazing machine no matter what it looks like. But this is Lauer exclusive, and with this machine, you will get matching luggage to go with the machine and the embroidery module that comes with it. We'll talk more about embroidery in a moment, but in addition to that, you also get a USB stick full of exclusive Lauer embroidery designs. Now, she is the creator of things like Peacock Fantasy, Catitude, and other amazing designs. The 790 Plus is the top of the line embroidery machine. It sews, of course, as well, and has some unique things. We're going to take the next little while to explore what those things are. In the middle, I'll have a little bit of a demo of one of the things that I like about this machine. But let's get started. So on this machine, there are 10 inches of space between the wall of the machine and the needle. This is amazing for creating costumes. This is great for piecing larger quilts. It's wonderful if you want to do ruler work, if you want a free motion quilt, whatever your heart's desires. There's plenty of room. Maybe you're a weaver and you need to finish up your rugs. Rolling up those rugs and getting that end bound off is really simple in this machine for many reasons. So no matter what you're creating, there's lots of room to do that on this machine. And let's take a look. So on this machine, we have a large center screen and it's touch screen. The stitches are what you see is what you get. There is an image of the foot on the front of the machine, which is very handy to see exactly where your needle's going to land. And you have, I guess, no guessing involved in how that's going to work out in front of you. You have total stitch control with this machine. You have the ability to move your needle left and right. There are 11 needle positions. You can adjust your needle stitch lengths in small increments. We have the ability to do that right on your screen, or the multifunction knobs to the right of your colored screen can easily make those adjustments as you sew. Bernina is a 4-generation family. They have been in the sewing business that entire time. They have been privately owned as a family business this entire history. They've been in business for over 125 years, and their commitment to excellence is in every single machine. Whether you purchase the top of the line machine, the 880 or the 790, or you get an entry-level machine, the things that make the machine excel in precision, in power, and in beauty are the same whether you buy this machine or the entry-level machine. However, there are some cool things. On this machine, if you are a bag creator, look at how that can adjust up. You have a lot of space to put larger projects underneath. Maybe you like to create handbags. If you've ever tried to stuff that underneath a smaller machine, it can be a little bit of a challenge. But all of this lift space in the presser foot is amazing for making that happen. When you add the freehand system, which is part of the machine, and got it behind me, this will not only raise up your presser foot with your knee, it will also lower your feed dog, so you can get that extra space underneath your fabric to help adjust anything that you might want to adjust. I don't know about you, but occasionally I get things kerfuffled underneath my foot, and you need to get in there and adjust your seams just so. The freehand system makes it super easy because you use your knee to raise your presser foot up, and you can keep your hands on your project while you're working. Now this machine has a jumbo bobbin. It's different than the 880, which I featured in the last hour session. Let me take a look at that. In here I have a mixture of both because I have both styles of machines in my life. But here is the jumbo bobbin for the 7 series. It's tall and thick, and it has 3 times the capacity of thread as a standard size drop-in bobbin. And it is directional, so you cannot, let's take a look at this. You cannot get it loaded on incorrectly to wind your bobbin because it is shaped to go on only one way. Now this does have an onboard bobbin winding system. It has an independent motor. I'm going to take this off for a moment, but it just simply pushes in and it will wind your bobbin with ease, and it will stop, of course, when it is full. The bobbin system on this machine is the Bernina B9 hook, and when they develop the wider stitch width of designs, this machine can do up to 9 millimeters, which is about 1/3 of an inch. It's a very nice big stitch. Let's see, I think I have an example here. It allows you to do some super fun things in your stitching. You have lots of decorative possibilities. I was supposed to be prepping yesterday, but instead I was playing with more decorative stitching on my machine. I couldn't help myself. Because honestly, we buy machines to do the work for us, but we also buy machines to feed the need to feed the need to create in our spirit. And all those decorative stitches are super fun. Back to the bobbin system. So this has a front-loading bobbin system, and on the Bernina tray there is a clear opening in front of the needle plate area. This allows you to see down into your bobbin area, so if you were to open it up, you could actually change your bobbin out without removing your project from your machine. There is a I got a bobbin case here. Let me get it out. There is a bobbin case for this machine. Super easy. Drop the bobbin in, load it in the front, and you're good to go. Now on the Bernina, the bobbin thread is waiting right below the stitch plate to marry up with that top thread. There's no need to bring the thread to the top. In fact, we encourage you to use your built-in scissors on the machine to cut your thread. That way you set yourself up for success from the moment you push your foot pedal down to hit go. That makes for beautiful precision stitching. Now, along with this machine, if you choose to buy it, this is a limited edition 790. We do have the non-special front machines as well. But as I mentioned, the rolling suitcase for the machine will come with this machine as well as the module bag. On top of that gift, Pine Needles is offering some extra goodies to sweeten up the deal. And one of the things that you will receive is this gorgeous Bernina accessory bag. It is can be used as an accessory bag. It can be used as a laptop bag. It has a really nice strap on the back to go over your other luggage, and there are backpack straps tucked in here for ease to go. In addition to the accessory bag, we are also including one of my favorite books in the whole wide world, the Big Book of Feet, that has endless creative possibilities in here, that highlights the many different accessories and sewing feet that Bernina has to offer to make the most creative machine you have in front of you. We are also including the walking foot. The walking foot by Bernina has 3 soles on the bottom. You have a traditional sole. You have a sole that has a fin that is stitched in the ditch foot, or an edge stitch foot, some people like to call it. And also the 1/4 inch seam foot. That is included. And then not in my bag because it's on the machine behind me is the 97D foot, which is your 1/4 inch seam foot. Now on one of our broadcasts later this week, the topic will be Seams Perfect, and I'll be giving information about the different 1/4 inch feet that Bernina has to offer, but also giving you some tips and tricks to make better sewing seams on your quilted projects. In addition, there are some other gifts which I'll show in a moment, but one of the things that I love about the 790 Plus and any of the Bernina models that have the automatic presser foot lifter, there is no lever on the back of this machine, is the feature called Hover Pivot. This makes it super easy to make adjustments as you're appliquing or as you're piecing. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at how that works. I'm going to demo that. I'm going to turn around here. So under my needle right now, I have a previous square that I've already started to piece. So I'm going to go ahead and sew to the edge, and I'm going to stop. Now right now I have my needle set to always stop in the down position. Let me show you what happens as I sew off the edge of the fabric. So I have stopped at the edge of my fabric, my needle is down, and my presser foot has hovered up. This allows me to easily place another set of squares underneath without having to reach behind or activate a presser foot up. It automatically goes up. Now I have mine set to super high here so that you can see it easier, but I simply slide, whoops, that one's upside down, my next piece into my needle so that I get a nice straight start to my work. One tap of my presser foot will, or not my presser foot, of my foot control will lower my presser foot down onto my work. And it will easily sew off the edge of the fabric and stop again for the next piece to go in. Now normally while piecing, I would have my foot hover a little less. It would be better supported underneath. I want to point out, and although you can't see it very clearly, there are etchings on the sole plate here to indicate where 1/4 inch is, and that also lines up with the groove in the 1/4 inch feed dog marking on the machine. It makes it easy to have accurate piecing. Now in addition to purchasing this machine, we have some gifts with purchase that you can choose from. Let's take a look at the collage of those possibilities. Here's a quick picture of all of the choices. So in addition to the machine gifts, we have these, and you can customize your gift. Let's take a look at each of the bundles. The first one is the piecing bundle, and if you're new to quilting or if you are a seasoned pro, this is a lovely collection of tools that make your life and creative space much more functional. So we have the piecing bundle. We also have the pressing bundle, and this would include the wool mat. It includes a travel iron and case and some amazing fabric treatment to get best results. If you are interested in finishing your projects yourself instead of taking them to a long arm, we have a quilting in the hoop bundle. Maybe ruler work is what you've always wanted to try. We have a bundle for you. And lastly, we have an embroidery bundle. No matter which one you choose, it is a custom gift just for you, and you pick the one that you wish that you feel would best serve your needs. I will continue with some other highlights, but I also want you to know that it is Bernina's summer savings sale, and we are so lucky. It happens to coincide with our Minnesota Quilt Show. There are some extra dollars off. So when you purchase any 7 Series machine, Bernina has a, let's take a look at this. We have $700 off a 7 Series purchase. That is extra wonderful savings. For pricing on our machines, you will want to call the shop to get that information, or you are welcome to email us. Our email is info, I-N-F-O, at pnqs.net. And one of my partners at the shop will give you a phone call or give you an email, or perhaps both, to get you the information you need. Now, our store is open from 10 until 5. And of course, this part is virtual, but we do have live people helping you in the shop. So in addition to the summer sale, we also have financing offers. This makes picking out your dream machine much more affordable. This option is available to you. We have 48-month 0% financing and 60-month 0% financing. These offers will begin on Friday. We can take care of the pre-approval process ahead of time and finalize the transaction beginning on Friday for you. So let's take a look back at the machine. Those are all the things that you can say, I got this gorgeous machine, but I also got this or that, because many of you who attend events like all the extra goodies that come with your machine, and we at Pine Needles want to help you have a really fun experience during this quilt show time. Okay, hover, what did you think about that? Isn't that cool? So imagine if you've ever appliqued, you know how sometimes when you're going around that circle, every couple stitches you got to reach behind and put the lever up. Now remember, on this machine there is no lever, it is automatic. That is why we have the freehand system, and we have the hover feature, and we also have the ability to raise and lower our presser foot with a button on the front of the machine. When we talk about decorative stitches, one of the things we commonly do when we sew is we go between more than one stitch. And with the Bernina, we have something called temporary altered stitch memory. This is one of the time savers and happy features that I love on my machines. What it means is when you make a change on your stitch, maybe you're straight stitching, maybe you've made your stitch length a little shorter, perhaps you've even changed your presser foot weight to accommodate the fabric that you are using. You can go to another stitch, maybe it's a blanket stitch, maybe it is a zigzag stitch, or maybe it's a decorative stitch. You can make changes and alterations there as well. But as long as your machine is on for the day, when you go back to that straight stitch or revisit one of those other stitches, it will remember your settings. Not only is this a huge time saver, but if you've ever tried to finish an applique project and then you got started and you realized, that stitch was a little bit denser the first time I did it than the second time I did it, that is a helpful thing. In addition, on the 790, just like on the 880, we have a stitch history folder. So on the bottom right of our colored screens, on the 790 and the 880, it will remember the last 24 stitches and their settings that we created, or that we have sewn out, I should say, not created. This is really helpful because maybe you found a really cool decorative stitch, and this machine has over 1,000 decorative stitches. Maybe you found one and you couldn't remember what the number was, or you're in a hurry and you just want to find it quickly. It's going to be there in that history of stitches for you, easy to access. Speaking of decorative stitches, oh my goodness, there are so many. You know, a lot of people buy a machine and they say, oh, I just mend, or oh, I just piece. But quite honestly, all your decorative stitches can be used in so many different ways. These are just a few, and it's really quite fun to explore all these different stitches. In addition to stitches, of course, there are many different feet. We're going to cover that on our last day underneath. There's a foot for that. and be sure to tune in then. Now, as a top of the line machine, one of the things you get, of course, is this Bernina foot pedal. Now, what makes this Bernina foot pedal extra special is, first of all, it's ergonomically designed for your whole foot to sit on here, so you can sew for hours and hours, and you're not using your toes to run your foot pedal, you're using your whole foot. But this gives us an extra function on our machine. Automatically from the factory, it has a back kick function that allows you to put needle up, needle down. If you're paper piecing and you want to take just one more stitch and only one more stitch, that back kick on that needle up, needle down function is amazing because you can get through 1/2 stitch at a time. This is completely possible as well in tricky situations where you're mending perhaps many layers of denim or other tricky fabrics where you want to go cautiously. Maybe you're working your way around a zipper or trying to make a difficult curve on a handbag. Because we have a DC motor system on this machine, we have ultimate needle penetration even at slow speeds, meaning you can activate your foot pedal and go through one stitch at a time, and you're going to get all the power that is possible in that needle going through your project, but you have complete control. If you've ever used an AC motor machine, you know that to get over that hump on a pair of denim pants, you gotta floor it and then hope for the best and maybe push a little and pull a little. But with the gearing in this machine and the foot control, again, you have precision, total control over your stitches as you go. And I love that about this machine. Okay, this one also comes with the Bernina stitch regulator. When this foot was introduced with a 440, it was a completely revolutionary foot. Many of us like the idea of learning to free motion quilt, but there's a little bit of a learning curve getting your speed of fabric movement along with the length of stitches. When you use the Bernina stitch regulator, you take the coordinating part of speed of foot control and hand control out of the equation. You just have to put the creative thought into the process. This is an additional accessory with some of the Bernina models, but it is included with the 790. It attaches on the machine just like the other feet. And speaking of feet, the Bernina feet are one-piece construction so that they have the best control over our fabric to provide a good foundation for accurate stitches. The stitch regulator attaches the same way. It goes right on the cone on the back. There is a connection in the back for the power for this foot. This accessory comes with 3 different soles, and you can have different views. So this one has an open toe view, so you can do tiny little stippling and you can see where you're going. I'll show you some examples of that. We have the cup-shaped foot that allows you to float over uneven surfaces. Wonderful for any of you thread artists out there that like to embellish different things. And then we have a nice closed toe foot. And this one is really handy because it has a straight edge here, and that allows you to guide right along the seam of a quilt, and your needle is going to be exactly 1/4 inch away from this straight edge. So it allows you to free motion quilt across an area or to echo. Let me just show you some things in this book here. This was a actually, I want this one. So we at Pine Needles offer the Bernina Academy, and we will be having one this fall, so be sure to check it out, where you can come in and you can explore the things that make the top-of-the-line machines fun and exciting. And we have several techniques in here. This one was the ability to create textured fabric using a stitch that we created. This one we use Stitch Designer, which is on the 790. We created this little spool and made a unique stitch. Ruler work, needle felting. Here's where I'm going. Here we did a trapunto effect, but the stitch regulator allowed us to create fun little doodly stitches around it with beautiful even stitches. Again, no matter how fast or slow or big or swirly those designs were. Really a nice thing. You can also create hand look stitches. This happened to be done on the embroidery machine. We created this there, but see how it looks like it's been hand quilted, but it was done by machine. So there are many creative options available to you on the 790. One of them that I did not talk about is the multi-directional sewing. This is not only fun as a decorative stitch function, but imagine quilting a quilt without having to turn the quilt. What if the feed dogs, the mechanisms that move your fabric through your machine, allowed you to move your quilting left and right, or even diagonally? How cool would that be? That is available on the 790, on the 880. It is called multi-directional sewing. I'm going to just show you an example here. This bag, this is a stitch that's on the 790. It's a very large stitch. Remember, your stitch size is only 9 millimeters, 1/3 of an inch. But this was created using a multi-directional stitch that is built into the machine, and it allowed us to add this decorative edge on this bag. But it could also be used to as a quilting option. Again, here on the bottom, you can see the hand look stitching. These are some stitches that are actually built into our machine. Now, not only do you have those predetermined stitches for the multi-directional sewing, but you can also decide on the path of those stitching. And we cover that in our mastery class. Speaking of mastery classes, we offer them every month. And currently they are virtual, but beginning in September, we will have in-person classes again, and we will continue to offer a virtual choice for those of you who wish to take them in the comfort of your own sewing studio. We are committed to education at our store. Again, I mentioned that we will have a Bernina educator. Actually, we will have 3 opportunities for you to come and learn from the Bernina educators. In September, we are hosting a long arm class, and that will be with Betsy Carlson. The other ones that we will have also will be a mystery make, and we will have a serger event. So there's lots of wonderful opportunities to take what you've learned in your mastery class and then go beyond. Or maybe you're not sure what you want in a machine. It's a great opportunity to come and try before you buy. But watch that. In September, we'll kick off a full complement of classes, and we will have them in our newly expanded classroom in our shop at the TJ Maxx Plaza. Do we have any questions? None. Okay, so be sure to check out the different machine bundles on our website. They're at pnqs.net. This afternoon at 1 o'clock, it would be the Marcia and Joy Show. Marcia is hosting another event at the same time, so it will be the Joy and Alyssa show. My daughter will be joining me. She's monitoring the cameras this afternoon. Well, actually for the next 4 days. She's the expertise behind that work. So be sure to tune in at 1 o'clock. We will have tips and tricks. I have the next clue for the mystery table runner. You can find those clues on our website. They're free to download. But again, on pnqs.net, under the shop tab, click on the Minnesota Virtual Quilt Show to see all the different machines that we are offering with bundles, as well as the gifts that you can have to go with them. I have also posted a few videos on some different feet and things for you to check out there as well. Now this afternoon, after our live broadcast at 1, at 2 o'clock, I will have another feature, so watch Facebook for what that feature will be. Thank you for joining me today, And again, I'm Joy from Pine Needles Quilt and Sew in Rochester, Minnesota, and we'll quickly give you a little refresher of the gifts that come with this machine if you choose to purchase it. Here is the bundle for the machine purchase, and this is a picture of the black-faced one. Of course, we do have the special edition available as well. And you can customize your gift with one of these 5 wonderful bundles too. Be sure to stop in the store. We do have some sales on our Bernina feet, and we have a gift with purchase with those feet. So we are open 10 to 5 Monday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturday. Give the shop a call for pricing or email us at info@pnqs.net. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you again at 1 o'clock for the Marcia and Joy show with Alyssa standing in. Thank you so much.